This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
This is episode 670 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast for July 8th, 2025. It's me, Tracy. I'm your host for this one. I'm here with Lee and with two members of the UUOP network. We've got Portkey Passport's Melinda and Taste of Universal's Kelly. Hello!
Hey!
Hello! Hi, friends.
So before we get into it, we're going to start off with a belated Producers Club birthday, and that is for Joanna Zishong, whose birthday was yesterday, as of recorded, on July the 7th. So happy birthday, Joanna!
Actually, as of recording, it was today, but okay.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, by the way, Joanna. Yes, sorry. For some reason, your Google form completely went under my radar and I left it out. I do apologise.
To be honest, I don't think you've made it as a producer until your birthday has been left out.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's it's a pretty special club. So, okay, right, let's get things kicked off with some little things from Seth.
This is Seth Kabursky, co-author of the Unofficial Guides, and brace yourself because if the last edition of All the Little Things was the longest one ever, this one might just be the shortest Little Things ever. Going to start off in City Walk, where the restoration of the Hemisphere Dancer airplane at Jimmy Buffett's Lone Palm Airport is almost complete. Looks like they've just got a few propellers to put on now. Inside Universal Studios Florida, Glinda and Elphaba are meeting and greeting folks through August 20th. The bridge between the Simpsons area and the Wizarding World is closed off for repairs, so you'll have to take the long way around by Men in Black. Richter's has seen a menu update. They're still serving burgers and chicken, but now with some new toppings. And the next few days are probably your last chance to check out the pop-up Jaws anniversary setup in the San Francisco area because light rigs are already going up for Halloween Horror Nights construction in San Francisco. Over at Islands of Adventure, Dr. Doom's Fearfall reopened from its refurbishment. The next ride scheduled to go down for refurb is Reign of Kong Skull Island, which is scheduled for closure on August 20th through the 29th. And if you're craving some popcorn while in Hogsmeade, the Magic Neep cart is now selling popcorn. However, there's nothing much magical about the butter flavor. And finally, over at Epic Universe, they had a huge 4th of July celebration complete with fireworks, but don't expect to see fireworks back on a regular basis until they can finish building a permanent fireworks launching facility. And the great Pizza Moon takeout box controversy has taken another turn. Yes, pizza boxes are back, and you can take your pizza from Pizza Moon to go. Okay, I told you that would be the quickest Little Things ever. As always, I am Seth Kabursky, and you can find my books at theunofficialguides.com. And until next time, I'm keeping an eye on all those little things at Universal Orlando for you.
Okay, that was a little thing.
Yeah, that was a tiny thing.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That's what she said, yeah. It just goes to show again, though, that it doesn't matter. Like, it's been 2 weeks, but there's always something new going on at those parks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I'm sad about the Richter Burgers menu change. I just saw that today, and so they added a new burger, but they took away my beloved truffle fries.
Oh.
That was like my favorite park snack. And it's really the only thing I eat from Richter Burgers, but they had these incredible truffle Parmesan fries and they are gone and I'm so sad.
I'm certain to hear people go, that's my favorite. They go, right, that one's going then. Because they do it to me all the time.
I think the thing is, from what we've heard, I mean, you guys on Taste have probably talked about it as well. I don't know whether you've brought this up on there specifically.
Depends what you're going to say.
But so when they were building Epic, they kind of cherry picked the cream of the crop from Universal Orlando Resort, as we know. Like,
right.
The Fernando from the Strongwater
Yes.
Tavern went over to Bar Helios, and we're hearing that a lot of the chefs from a lot of the restaurants at the North Campus, as apparently it's being called now, are being shipped over to Epic Universe. So they've got new chefs in, or people that have come up from, like,
Yeah.
I don't
the
know what the
ranks.
vice chef, whatever that one would be below.
Right.
Well, the
Yeah.
sous chef.
I was going to
Well,
say,
I
Alex
wondered
Kelly,
if that's what it was, and I wasn't sure. And they're kind of putting their stamp on things, and that's why a lot of the menu items are changing. I know we experienced it when we went to Toothsome, and they changed the tachos over there.
That's what I was going to
Yeah,
say about
that's-
Toothsome. They've taken off everything that I ever ordered at that menu. They removed so many big ticket items, I feel like, and it's...
And we've talked about it on Taste.
Right.
Like the tachos, that was has a very large fan base. And it's kind of like, of all the dishes to change, that was not the one.
And they've made like subtle changes to things. We went to Vivo, and I know a few of the items there, and a lot of it's been subtle changes, but those tachos have completely changed. Literally, the tots in the tachos are the only thing that's the same as it was.
That's the same. Yeah, that's disappointing. If there's something that you really love or something that's really popular, it doesn't quite make sense. One of my favorites was the chicken bursi, and I know that was one of their most popular dishes, and it has been since they opened, and now they removed that, and it's
Strange.
kind of questionable. But
Yeah.
I do know there's a tiny side note to that conversation as far as the Epic chefs moving. In addition to that, even a lot of my favorite local restaurants are having to change menu things due to sourcing food from outside countries and the new tariffs and things like that.
That's
So
I never
understandable.
considered
there
that.
are also ingredients that were previously easier to come by that might not be, or might have to be sourced from a different location. I know the allergen menus have kind of been going bonkers as well, because they've taken, what you might not have ever considered having to look at before, you might need to look at again, because they might be sourcing it from a different location, even if it's been the same dish for over a decade. It's kind of like what happened right after COVID, when they needed to find new sources for things like their baked items or things like that, there's that little caveat to it too.
Yeah. See, that's just cleared up a little mystery then. So the fries from Richter's that you like, Melinda, they...
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, they have taken those off because the tachos now have truffle on them.
Yeah, so they've taken the truffle off your truffle fries because they needed to use it on the tachos. There you go.
Mystery solved. See, teamwork.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard that Dr. Doom had to go down for a refurb because they had to clean one of the seats on it from after Tracy rode it in
Absolutely
May.
not.
Oh no.
Absolutely not.
You screamed blue murder on that thing.
Once.
Yeah, but that scream
was
lasted
fine.
20 seconds from top to bottom.
Then it was
Or from
fine.
bottom to top.
Well, that's the whole length of the ride. So.
Exactly.
I didn't breathe all the way up, and that scream was actually just me breathing.
It's an initiation rite. If you didn't do that, then it wasn't a good ride on it. So for at least first ride in a while.
First ride in many years, actually.
I find it interesting that we still haven't got permanent fireworks at Epic.
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Kelly, did you watch the fountain show?
We saw some of the fountain shows during the day, but when we realized the the rides were open later than we thought they were, we crammed in. So like my Epic day was like 5 rides during early park entry, 5 rides during the last hour of the day, and like 2 rides in the shows, and then a progressive bar crawl through Celestial Park in the middle of the day is what I
It
looked
kind of
at.
makes more sense if you're trying to be the most efficient at getting rides done, because they're going to be the busiest in the middle of the day. So
So it also rained from like 2 to 7 the day that I was there. So all the outdoor stuff was down. But so we missed the like nighttime fountain show, which I can't wait to see it next time I go back. But we did not get to see the nighttime one. But I've seen video clips of it. I've not like spoiled the whole thing for myself.
Yeah.
It goes to show kind of what we've talked about on the podcast for quite a bit, that the park wasn't ready to open. They set that opening date and they got it as ready as they could to open on May 22nd. But like a lot of the expansions that are coming aren't expansions. They're just bits they didn't finish. And this
they just
seems
didn't
to
make
be,
the deadline.
Yeah, which is cool. I think I kind of like that from a perspective of for me, they've still opened a park that is phenomenal.
You didn't walk into a park going, "Oh my god, that needs finishing. That needs finishing." You would
No, I
never.
didn't. I think they.
Right.
The general public would never know.
I think they realised at a certain point that they weren't going to get it all finished, and like we need to concentrate on getting what we have in
Yep.
finished, and then we'll deal with that a lot later. But then having that in the works to then be able to go in a year or 2 years or
Yep.
3 years, here's an expansion, here's an expansion, here's an expansion is fantastic.
Yeah.
Honestly, from a
It's
marketing
nice.
perspective.
Yeah, it's not just going to be stagnant for,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, like most parks are for the first few years at
Mhm.
least after opening, where
Because you
we're
don't
still
need
going
to.
to get some innovation
Yeah.
and some new things.
Because as a brand new park, you don't need to do anything for 5 years. It's new. Let people enjoy it
Right.
as it is. But this is like, it kind of, they're not, but it looks like they're going, hey, you know this new park we've got? Well, we're going to add to it next year. We're not really adding to it because the people in the know, but the people that
Right.
don't are just going to go, oh, God, Universal are really pumping some money in.
Yeah.
They're already adding to this
Exactly.
park that's just opened. I love it, personally.
Mm-hmm.
With the way that they rolled out the opening as well, where it seemed like almost everybody had already seen the park before it ever
Yeah.
it ever opened. that's kind of nice, because that is a bit disappointing that everything was already kind of spoiled. It was so
Mhm.
difficult to avoid seeing everything before you got there, and so it's kind of nice that there's still going to be some newness.
Yeah.
But Lee, like to your point, that restaurant that's already being very much getting ready
Oh,
in
yeah.
Celestial
yes.
Park, that we don't know yet whether that I don't know yet whether that will be sit down or another quick service location. But the fact that I would much rather them do that and give us, however many 100% completed restaurants than for them to give us everything at 90%
Mm-hmm.
when
Yes.
because they didn't get everything ready. So I think it was really wise of them to do it the way that they did, to I'm sure they hit a point maybe a year ago where they were like, what can we get 100% show
Yeah.
ready
Yeah.
by day one?
Right.
And let's focus on that, and everything else will be a couple months later, we'll pick that back up,
Mhm.
or a year
Well,
later, we'll pick that back
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity, for sure.
Exactly. Now, speaking of incomplete things, I like that we now have the Pizza Moon boxes to go.
It's been a big
Because
complaint.
finally-
They are
Yeah.
big pizzas. I mean, okay, I probably could make a pig of myself and actually finish the whole thing. But then going and riding Stardust afterwards, people behind me might not be happy.
They don't ride. Yeah, but who wants to carry a pizza box all the way around for the rest of
Because
the day?
what you
That's
do
true.
is, that's the last
Bring a
place you
stroller.
go. You bring a stroller.
Or you go with people who have a big buggy like we did on opening
That's
day.
the last place you go.
Yeah,
and, then
true.
and then you're taking out your breakfast
or midnight snack.
Yes,
or
that's
midnight
a good way
or
to
bus
go.
snack.
Absolutely.
It's weird to go back to that. I'd forgotten about that, Kelly, actually, that new restaurant opening.
Mhm.
Like, does Celestial Park need more food places? It's
Yes.
crazy that place has so many places to eat and drink already. And we're already
Yeah.
talking about opening a new one next year.
But it's so big and it doesn't feel crowded that it could take
Mhm.
another restaurant. It could take another 2 or 3 and you still wouldn't feel like you were tripping over restaurants because it's just laid out so well.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I was there with my best friend who lives in Orlando, she was like, this is going to become the locals Epcot once it's on
Yes.
Yep.
uh,
Great.
annual
Oh.
pass of some kind, because people are just going to come here instead of drinking around the world at Epcot. They're going to drink around Celestial Park. They're going to have a snack here and a drink there and a dessert there and an ice cream there,
That's
that sort of thing.
interesting.
Because if you think about Epcot, you say like, wow, Epic Universe has so many restaurants. Epcot has like, what, 9 table service
Yeah.
and like
Oh my gosh,
17
it's
quick
crazy.
service
Yeah.
restaurants. And so
Yeah.
if this
And
is going to
everything is
become
great.
like that,
Yeah.
where you would go for the evening, you go on a Sunday afternoon, whatever that sort of thing is, and you're going there to socialize, to be with your friends, to share some drinks, to share some appetizers somewhere, that sort of thing. Like this is kind of becoming like A, the foodie park, but B, the locals park of
Yeah.
being able to spread out and experience these things that are built for crowds, they're built for capacity, they're built for ease of access with the quick serve or the mobile order to table dining. I think it's a really, really wise way to pull people over to this park, locals
Well,
at least.
And especially when they're talking about in the future kind of trying to make this like the new city walk
Yeah.
area,
Mhm.
then that's ideal. That's necessary.
Well,
So
we'll see about that. That's a topic for another I think it might be Epic Universe's City Walk, but let's just leave that there.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah, not. I don't think anything's going to replace City Walk.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I'll mention it. I'll mention it on the bonus episode. Someone remind me this conversation, and we'll talk about it on the bonus episode. Celestial Park is like, I love Celestial Park, and it's one of those. It kind of goes to a conversation, Tracy, you and I have. I mean, Kelly had it at the weekend. Melinda, this is something for you, having not been yet. Mm-hmm. I have said, watching a lot of vlogs and a lot of people talking about Epic Universe, my biggest piece of advice for anybody going to Epic who hasn't been yet is you need to change your mindset of what going to a theme park means. Mm-hmm. Because going to Epic is a very different experience from going to a Disney park or islands or studios, because if you're going entirely focused on rides, you are completely missing the point of that park. Kelly, you've said it there. For 5 hours during your trip, you were pretty much rained out of everything, but you still said to me you had an amazing day, and that was your first day there.
Yeah. In those 5 hours we did, we got a drink from, oh good grief, what did I tell you? We got a drink from Meteor Astropub, then we ate in Blue Dragon, then we got a drink from the Atlantic, then we waited for Ministry of Magic, and then we saw Les Cirque Canoe. And by the time we were out, the rain had finished and half the park had cleared out.
Yeah,
but that sounds like my ideal day.
Things to do, but it was so relaxed. Like, we got to talk to the bartenders. We, like you were saying, Lee, our bartender at Meteor Astropub had been at Mythos for years.
Yeah.
And so he was able to kind of share the process of moving over and how things were built differently from the ground up, like with the expectations being different in this park and things like that. So it was just so chill. We beat the hottest part of the day. We beat the torrential downpour. Mm-hmm. Also, Stardust Racers was still going during the rainstorm because there was no lightning. And I cannot imagine going that fast during a torrential downpour. So kudos to you people who continued to ride that ride. Yeah. But yeah, it's also built for that. Like it's built that you can go from place to place.
Yes. More
easily than it looks like when you look at a map, I'd say.
Yeah. I feel like in that way, Epic is really for true theme park lovers.
Yes.
Because we don't go just for the rides. We go for the ambiance. We go for just the experience of it all.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things in the North Campus, the Legacy Parks, is to walk into Port of Entry and Islands of Adventure and sit there and have breakfast at the Croissant Moon Bakery and just watch people coming in for the day.
Absolutely.
And just getting the feel of that area. And I absolutely love that. And just getting the atmosphere. And so I feel like Epic is much, much more tailored towards fans of that sort than people who just want to get in and get every ride possible done and get out.
We have come to the conclusion, I think Epic was built for the UUOP community, right?
Yes.
Because you know damn well Chris and Alexa and the Griswold and all of that are just going to hang out in there, and it's the perfect spot for them. When we got our extra day, when we bought those extra tickets, we didn't, I was thinking about this while I was out on a walk earlier, we didn't actually ride a lot that day. So we spent $320 for those tickets, right? Barely rode anything, and still had the best day.
Fantastic day.
Yeah, you don't feel like it was a waste of money because you did what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You got the experience you wanted to have. And I think that's why you see some of these negative comments that people have, because they want to go only for the rides, and they measure how much they enjoyed their trip by how many rides they did.
And I get that.
I don't understand that.
I get that, yeah. I suppose it's different. Tracy and I went into obviously a different mindset as well, because we'd done 3 days in there with barely anybody in it.
Yeah.
Like 2 days with like 500 people in, and then 1 day with like 6,000 people in there. And apparently the capacity is 50,000. I cannot imagine what it's going to be like. Like looking at the wait times today, Mario Kart was like 160 minutes at lunchtime today. I can't imagine with 50,000 people in what that park is going to look like. But
we'll find out in October.
I don't think we will. It's not going to be up. It'd be interesting to see when they've raised the cap. I think the capacity is still capped at 15,000 right now.
Okay.
I thought it was much higher than that. I thought it was I thought they were selling tickets well into the 30s.
Oh, really?
I thought so. I thought I saw that.
I haven't seen that. I know for like the first month it was capped at 14,000, I think. Because I still hear a lot of people saying, oh, Universal was so smart to cap tickets for that opening day and the opening week. And I'm like, they did, but it wasn't quiet because they capped the tickets.
No.
It was quiet because people expected it to be an absolute show and didn't go.
Yeah, so nobody wanted to go.
Yeah, the cap was actually higher than what they sold.
The cap was 14,000 for the opening day, and they sold 6,000 tickets. So it's got nothing to do with the fact that Universal capped the tickets. It's the fact that, like Chris,
well, we were the same.
Went, hell no, I'm not going because it's going to be mental, and we were like walk on for nearly everything, and it was the best day to go ever.
Right.
I'm super curious to see. Well, obviously, no. I'll take that back because I can't rewind time. I'm curious to see what would have happened had they opened it during actual summer.
Yes.
Instead of a holiday week on a Thursday of a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that I was priced out of the park being not local. I was priced out of flights to Florida.
Yeah. Oh,
because it was Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So it was not I couldn't get off work on a Thursday, Friday of a holiday weekend. And B, I couldn't afford the plane tickets for that weekend because it's a holiday weekend. So I wonder what would have happened had they opened it like, this coming if this coming Thursday was opening day and it's full on summer, everybody's on break, flights are more affordable, there's more flexibility with travel. I'm curious to what would have happened, how many more people might have been eager to get those tickets if it was during a time that more people could have realistically made it work.
So to play devil's advocate on that, Islands and Studios were rammed.
Right.
They were.
We went over to Studios on the Friday after opening, and those parks are the busiest we've seen them in a long time.
It was claustrophobic after what we'd just been through.
But I bet that's almost like reverse psychology, because I bet people went to those parks thinking, oh, nobody's going to be at these parks today because everybody's going to be at Epic. And that ended up being complete opposite.
I think it's a different in ticket. People going to Epic are spending $160, $170, $180, $200 on a ticket, whereas you can get a 3, 4, 5 day ticket for somewhere near the same price. I think that probably played into it a bit as well. Look, I'm not going to complain. I'm so happy we were there that time, even though we expected it not to be mental, but it'll never be like that again. It was amazing.
No, we're very fortunate.
I'm very worried about October now.
No, I'm not. I'm curious because then we, like I've said to you like the other day, the parks have been running for a few months. They're going to have all the people come in,
and everything's going to be knackered and not working.
Yeah, all the spoilers are out there, and people know what to expect. So that then should be running more like it's going to run. Like I've already said, we're going to see menus getting streamlined, and
they'll be into a typical routine, and
I think it's going to be interesting to see the differences. So I'm going in with that mindset of it's almost like going again for the first time because we're going to have a different experience.
Right. It's a strange time to have opened the park leading into summer, because if you're potentially knowing you're going to have ride issues and stuff. I mean, Kelly, you told me about your ever getting worse rides on Ministry of Magic this weekend.
Oh, wow. Yes.
It was a mountain. We started low, it was a valley. That's what it was. We started high, then went real low, and then it came back up a little bit.
But then the problem is that you're going to be needing to do maintenance or close things down at a time when you can't really afford to close, especially something like Potter, for example. You can't afford to close that ride down for any length of time during the summer to do anything on it. So do you run it at half capacity and then everyone off because they're having to wait 3 or 4 hours for it? Or just close it down? Because, I mean, they did. They closed it down just prior to the media event.
Opening, right.
And it was still having issues. Because as far as I'm aware, it's still only running at half capacity.
When is it breaking down? Because the park's only been open for 6 weeks.
The park's been open for like 3 months.
Officially.
Right.
Kelly, it fell off the motion base when you were on it, didn't it?
It felt like we fell off the motion base.
It
was quite an experience, but we were fine. The fire department did not come and have to rescue us like I thought they were when we sank 2 feet very rapidly with a very loud clunk onto the motion base. But
extra little drop in there.
Yeah, I was just saying, I didn't think there was any drops in this ride. That's what everyone complaining about.
Well, also the fact that it was about 12 seconds into the ride.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I've been on this once, and I know that it's not supposed to do that or make that sound, but
something's not right here.
You see, if that had happened at the drop of the Rumpud would have been like, oh, that was amazing.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, it worries me because getting to experience that park how we have, I know how amazing that park is, and it worries me
Right.
to see people go in whose focus is, like we've said, more on rides than the
Just got
experience
morons.
overall,
right.
and coming out disappointed or upset because the day wasn't what they expected. I think that's the
No.
big thing.
Not being awful, and this is
Yeah.
going to come across as me sounding awful, not being awful, but that then is people going in without doing their due diligence.
People
Yeah.
don't.
Oh,
don't-
I have a story for the bonus episode.
Oh.
about that, if you would like me to
Ruh-roh.
save that for later.
Because you don't go to places like that without checking what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going out in September. It'll be my first time going. It's going to be a hell of a trip for me. So in the space of 4.5 days, I am doing as much time at the legacy parks as I can. My first time going to Halloween Horror Nights
Whoop, whoop.
and
Fantastic.
a day at Epic.
When are you going in September, Melinda?
The 11th through the 15th.
Nice.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'm cramming everything in as much as I can, but
Alright.
I'm going to do it right. I don't care how much money it takes. I'm doing it. If I only have one day for this and one day for this, I'm doing it right. So Halloween Horror Nights,
Hang on, I
I
thought
didn't
Michelle was
do-
missing today.
listen. Halloween Horror Nights, I made sure I got the express passes. And then for Epic, myself and a couple other Portkey agents are actually going to do a private VIP tour. So
Brilliant.
yes, I am
Wow,
paying
okay.
an absolute arm and a leg, but I am
Oh.
not setting, if I have one day in Epic, I am
Yeah.
not setting myself up for failure
No.
here.
I agree.
No. Because from a travel agent's point of view, you need to be able to experience everything. So that completely makes sense.
Exactly.
Now, I'm trying to think which vlogger we were watching, and they were talking about Express.
A few.
And if you buy the Express in Epic,
oh, yeah.
this is great. If you buy the Express in Epic and you don't use it, they will give you 95% of the cost back.
I mean, when you're not going to use it, because I know Michelle got it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's really
I'm
good.
trying to. Was it Tyler Pugh, maybe? Because he did a day using Express, didn't he? I'm sure it was Tyler Pugh.
Tyler?
I did just watch that video.
I'm sure, because he was with the Mammoth Club. And I'm
Yes,
sure he
yes, it
said
was,
Right.
Yeah.
that he said that as long as you don't use it, they will refund you 95% of the cost, which is interesting because I know
5%.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's like essentially everything other than like convenience fees and operating,
Right.
like
Yeah.
the operating costs that it
Yeah.
would take to do.
because I'm sure Michelle. I know Michelle got Express Pass for the Friday after opening, and she didn't use
Okay.
it because she didn't need it because it was as dead as it was opening
Right.
day.
Mhm.
I don't think, because I said
I
you
don't think
should.
it was-
I would go. It doesn't matter. I know people who.
No, I'm saying I don't think that was maybe a thing then.
No, it was
because-
still been a thing, and because I'd heard
People
someone
didn't
else get
know.
it refunded, and I've asked her if she hadn't. She was like, "No," and I'm like, "Oh, of course, because you don't care. It's like you just find that money down the
Yeah.
side of the sofa." It's like
totally money.
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, I just dropped. I put my hand down the side of the sofa and found the money for that. It's not a problem." But it'd be interesting. Well, I think we might have to have you back on then, Melinda, with Michelle, because Michelle did a non-private VIP tour, and for you
That'd
to
be
do
a
a
good
private one, it'd be a
comparison.
comparison.
Okay.
Because I know Michelle's review of her non-private wasn't particularly favourable.
There are big differences between the private and non-private, though.
Yes, the cost for
non-private
one.
Yes, we
is
saw-
double the time.
Yeah,
Or,
and the
I'm
cost.
sorry, private is double the time.
Yes.
Well, yes, cost is double
Yeah.
as well.
We watched
But-
Tim Tracker's video. He did one. It cost him. It was like $7.5 grand. I think it said
Mhm.
it cost him for 5 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's looking at right now for us, it's going to be about $750 a person, and that's not including your park ticket.
See, that annoys
So,
me. That
yeah.
annoys me that it doesn't include your entry. It's the same with the RIP
It's
tours for
stupid.
Horror
It's
Nights.
so dumb. I'll never understand that, and that's something that clients get pretty upset about as
Yeah,
well.
I
And
don't
I
blame
can't
them.
blame that for that.
Was it the trackers who said, don't do your main sit-down meal in the middle of the day?
Yes. Because they
Say-
did Blue
Okay.
Dragon for lunch,
Book
didn't
that for after your
Yes.
tour.
they? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, with
Yeah.
the private tour, you get 3 meals.
Yeah, but he was saying like
Anywhere
they did
you
a
want.
sit down. They did Blue Dragon for lunch,
yeah.
and then Oak and
Okay.
Star, I think, for dinner. And he said, if in
flip it.
hindsight, yes.
Yeah.
So after your
Okay.
tour is finished, then do your sit down, because you can
Yeah.
do your sit down whenever you want. So
'Cause,
do
yeah, it's
that
Sure.
later on. So
Yeah.
it's less to do a quick service for lunch, and you sit down later on, and because it'll free up a lot more time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
And so the private tour is 8 hours long. So that's why you get the 3
Yeah.
meals,
Yeah.
and then you also get the express after the tour is over.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yes, you get the express as
That's
well.
not
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, that'll be an interesting episode. You and Michelle
Yeah.
fighting each other off.
Michelle not
now,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Michelle not being the one who's
Now who's the
Yeah.
1%er? She's been
Oh, God,
displaced
here we go.
already.
the 1% from the
My husband will never let me
0.5%.
hear the end of it.
Love it. Oh, have we exhausted all of that? That for a small,
I
for
know.
teeny tiny little things.
I wasn't
We've
expecting
talked like 6
conversation.
hours.
Yeah, but before we go in, the Hogsmeade popcorn. We don't eat popcorn in the theme park because I don't really get it. I don't really
like
eat popcorn
popcorn.
anyway. But what I do love about the Hogsmeade popcorn, that on the bag it says it's dragon fired popcorn,
that
which I
is
do
cool.
like.
Oh, that's nice.
I do like that little detail.
Gotta
Yeah.
have a little touch like that,
Yes,
right?
I do like that.
That is.
And
that
I
is
saw
pretty cool.
several people eating it, even though it had just debuted a couple days before I got there. I saw multiple people walking around eating it.
Well, it is difficult to find a snack there.
Yeah.
So
Is it?
as many options we can get is great.
Not popcorn though.
Oh,
Well, I mean in hot just
Yeah.
in Hogsmeade,
Yeah.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
So
Without
unless
like
you go to
going
like
in
the
and
fresh fruit
purchasing
cart
something.
or
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 Fair
Just
enough.
always
About
popcorn. I
time they
can't
put
stand
something
it.
else there.
I'll just go down to Snookers and get a big cookie from there. That'll do.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
You know, we were saying this the other day. So at home, if somebody said, "Hey, it's going to cost you
know.
$6 for this cookie," you'd go, "Hell no! Do you know how many cookies I could bake for that?"
That is exactly. We'll go to
Right.
the supermarket and go, we want something for dessert. What should we get? And it's like a bag of cookies for like if they were $6 for a bag, I'd be like, hell no, I'm not paying that for that. Yeah, I'll go
Right.
into Snookers and pay $6 for one.
Well, we pick up a bag of really good cookies for like $1.20.
Yeah, well, and it's as big
And
as your head.
It's
so.
crazy.
And
Yeah,
yeah, we have two completely different mindsets.
I
There's-
do because at home I'm as
here.
tight as
Yeah.
as tight as anything.
Yeah.
And then on holiday I'm like, yeah,
Money,
Who
money,
cares?
we're
Yeah.
1%ers. We're going to be Michelle.
we're not, but I'll eat beans on toast when I get home to make up for it.
What is it? We live in.
We live in.
Vacation money isn't real money.
Exactly.
I wish that were true.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
UUOP is brought to you by the Producers Club. Join today and get bonus episodes, chance to be guest host, be part of our awesome Facebook community, and more. Head over to uUOP.supercast.com to subscribe. Shameless plug.
Let's us, the hosts, take a little break and catch our breath while you listen for a Which Stick Gets Your Lick from Andrea.
I've been given the impossible task to keep this family friendly. So why is the segment name so rich with double entendre? We all know what you're trying to say with the segment name that you picked. I'm not even gonna go there, so which stick gets your lick?
Which stick gets your lick? Oh, hell yeah. Lick it, baby.
Hey, UUOP. This is Andrea, and I'm so excited to finally be trying Freeze Ray Pops. Been trying to get over here forever, and I finally made it, and it's hot enough. So it's February, it feels like it's 100 degrees out, and I decided to get the lemon mint, and it is wonderful. It has a little bit of sour, it's sweet, it's got flecks of mint in it that's just like the perfect touch. It's not too much because, you know, you put too much mint in something, it can taste like toothpaste. So they've done a really good job, I feel like, of balancing this. I actually would give it a 5 out of 5 and highly recommend, would definitely get again. So yeah, that's my review. Love you guys.
I think she was down near the Brown Derby because that bell ringing thing sounded like the
signs
yeah. I'm
changing.
trying to
yes.
figure out in the background where
I think
people
you're
are.
right because I actually was on that trip with her.
Ah.
And I think I remember that.
Insider information.
See, we're catching up. Gillian's was from Horror Nights last year. We're moving into February of this year. At least the ones.
This is the
I think
current
actually
year.
Sonia's just sent one in from Horror Nights last year as well that she forgot to send.
That's okay. That's Sonia's fault, not your fault, for once.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not my fault. I just do them as I get them.
And sometimes forget.
I don't ever forget. Not when
I
it comes
think mine, it took me like 2 months to send it after I had recorded it. So that's understandable.
I sent mine in February and it got played after Horror Nights. So last year.
Wow.
Sorry, Lee, to throw you
I
under
was
the
going to
bus on
say
that
thank
one,
you.
but
I love you too, by the way.
love you. Well, you could hear the Mardi Gras music in the background, so it's not like I was giving anything away at that point.
Yeah, but you were in the future. It's fine. It was this year.
Yeah.
Or next year. It was next year. You were at the weekend away. Weekend or what?
So the guys would love to hear you on the podcast. So to be part of this segment, all you have to do is head over to Freeze Ray Pops in Minion Land at Universal Studios Florida and sample as many of the popsicles as you can stomach or afford.
Once you've sampled them, record yourself rating each one on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being,
oh, hell no.
and 5 being,
Oh, hell yeah.
and send those recordings to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And for the most authentic review, record your thoughts while you're stirring the park, and we will try to figure out where you are.
And that's what I do. I do love the ones in the park.
And which year it was.
Or if you want to sing it, which year it was. Or singing it like Gillian's. Gillian's is still the best one from last week. That woman is amazing, hilarious. I really want to try that lemon mint one, actually.
It's my favorite.
It's my second favorite.
Okay.
Because we haven't been to Freeze Ray Pops since the first time we went.
No. With Chris and Alexa?
Yeah. That was the first ever witch stick.
Yeah.
We give whatever the hell
We
this
did
thing
it
was
like
called.
we were actually sending it in the show. That was crazy.
So that's how long ago that was. I haven't seen Chris and Alexa for like ever.
Who?
When did we see them last? We saw them briefly in December.
December.
Didn't we? Yeah, for about 2 seconds.
I got to try the whole menu in 5 days because my son absolutely insisted that we go like twice a day. So
Okay.
I'll be waiting for those recordings then, Melinda.
I sent one. It was just a long time ago.
I've tried almost all of the ones that are dairy-free, but the lemon blueberry is my favorite, and then lemon mint and strawberry tie for my second favorite. So I
lemon mint
enjoy
was
those
definitely
quite a
my
bit.
favorite for sure. And lemon blueberry, I think my son got that one like every time we went.
I forget about it, honestly.
We're not really ice cream, ice pop people. That's the thing.
I mean, I'm an ice cream
I'm not
person.
either.
I love it, but it's also only one of the only dairy-free like sweet treats that I can get in either park besides Dole Whip. Although there's now I've not tried the ice cream in Epic Universe yet, but I, for the first time ever, am going to get ice cream at a Universal theme park because they have vegan ice cream, and I've had that option at Disney available for a very long time, but it's like Dole Whip or popsicles are my only choices at Universal, so I get to have like a legit ice cream cone. Yay! And I'm more excited about that than I should be as a woman in my mid-30s.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
No, I'm excited to find out what
Blondie's or Wimpy Burger at Island sells Dole Whip.
Yes, I got it at Wimpy's for it was a like birthday treat from the chef one time. I like ordered my food and he saw my birthday button and he had to prepare the allergen food and he brought out a Dole Whip for me for my birthday.
Doesn't
That's so
Schwab's?
sweet.
I think Schwab's has it as well.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, they do
Schwab's
now,
has
yes.
it. A couple places in Islands have it too. So I have other places in Islands. I have choices of getting Dole Whip, but like actual creamy ice cream.
Sure.
This will be my first time.
Did we decide whether the DK Crush float thing in Donkey Kong is dairy free, Kelly, or not? Can you have that?
If you order the allergy float, it's just the pineapple juice and the banana soft serve. But I am not a fan of bananas
Oh, we had that
in any way,
conversation.
shape,
Oh
or
my
form.
God, it's amazing.
Besides the Savannah bananas, but that's a very different story.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
But I had the whole thing and I had no issues.
Okay.
Whereas if I have an ice cream,
You don't quite have the same reaction that Kelly has, though, to be fair.
No, but if I have an ice cream, I get crippling stomach pains, and I got nothing from that.
So what is it
it's
on
the
it that you
banana
can't?
that I don't.
Yeah.
I was just saying she can't. It's all
banana
dairy
sugar.
free. She just doesn't like banana.
Yeah. You see, that's why I'm suspecting that it's not real banana in it.
Well, I don't like real bananas. I don't like fake banana. I don't like banana flavored stuff. Banana
I'll
candy.
eat banana anything. That's like my favorite.
Oh, then you need
If
to
someone
get that
else
DK
orders
Crush.
if someone else orders the allergy friendly float, like I'll go with Shelby one time and have a bite of hers to taste it. I won't not try it. I won't knock it till I've tried it. But
Well,
banana
it's
is
so
not
big
my
too. If
favorite.
you're somebody that doesn't like bananas, it doesn't make any sense for you to order.
Like, I'm
you're
not-
going to have 2 bites of it and not want it. So.
Yes, I'm not going to pay that for something that I could potentially not enjoy.
But Melinda, if you are that big of a banana thing, then you need to try that. It is amazing.
Oh yes, I can't. That's one of the things I'm most excited about.
It's so good. I mean, it's $19 to get it in the souvenir thing, worth every
Worth
single
it.
cent.
I don't care.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Vacation money.
Exactly. See, I just learned there. So Kelly, banana.
Yes.
is your coconut then?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm
not a huge coconut fan, Tracy. I'm with you there.
I love coconut.
Interesting.
A little bit is fine, but definitely not my favorite.
Yeah, but Lee's good. I love coconut, but you also like avocado.
I don't like avocado. I'll eat it.
And you like coriander, cilantro. And
I like all of those things. It's banana. Banana's one of the few things that I'm like a picky eater over.
Okay.
See, I love banana, but banana does not love me. It tries to kill me. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fun.
So yes, I'm not convinced that that's real banana.
I mean, it's not. It's ice cream.
Yeah, but usually.
Anyway.
It's made with real bananas.
I wish to go to Universal.
Right, off you go. We'll beat to the edge of the Forbidden Forest.
Where can our vacation wizards take you? Just tap the port key at portkeyvacations.com and let the magic begin.
2 weeks ago, Universal had a spooky week by dropping 5 original houses. We talked about the first 2 weeks ago, and here are the next 3.
I'm so excited for Horror Nights.
Really? Melinda, kick us off.
All right. So we've got Dolls Let's Play Dead. You're about to become doll-sized and be hunted by toys that have been burnt, melded, and stitched together by a twisted little girl.
I feel like this is the house that I would want to go through with Kelly the most this year.
Oh, come on, man. I did so much better last year. I only fell down once. I didn't run into any walls.
Oh, no. I have never been in a haunted house, period.
Oh.
Let alone going to Halloween Horror Nights. So
this is going to be interesting.
So
I wish we were there. As someone who missed out on Dollhouse of the Damned, whichever year that was, I am so excited for this one because Dollhouse of the Damned, when they announced that, I was like, yes, so excited.
Do you remember what I said when this was announced?
No.
This could be the house that freaks me out because I really don't like dolls and things like that. This is more than clowns for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not excited at all about this one.
This could be my one and done.
I think I'll be all right with this one.
Okay.
I think our
Famous
Tracy, our co-host Kayla, Dollhouse of the Damned is her favorite Horror Nights house ever. So she is through the roof about this one.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Next up is Grave of Flesh. Welcome to your funeral where things are about to go from bad to worse. You enter your grave and then the underworld, oh no, where flesh eaters who feed on the dead will hunt you for all of eternity. Oh no.
Yes.
I'm excited. I do like a house that goes underground. So think back to, why can I still not remember what it was called? The one that was The Last of Us, but it wasn't The Last of Us. We had the conversation about it when this came out and I said the same thing.
Descendants of Destruction.
That's the one, yes. I love a house that goes like underground, apart from that friggin' witchy thing from 2022 that was terrible. Coven, Spirits of the Coven, that was terrible. But yes, excited for this one.
Yes.
Kelly, I guess you're not.
I'm more excited for this one than I was the one before it.
No, that one.
I was traveling, so it took me I drove from St. Louis to South Florida over the course of about a week, which was this week that all these were announced. So I'm aware of them, but I'm not as aware of them as I usually am at this point. So
it was a wild week for travel agents, let me tell you right now.
Bet.
Oh boy.
We couldn't keep up. There was so much dropping at one time. It was interesting.
I'm excited for this one. But it does sound kind of generic, but I am kind of excited for it.
Yeah. I'm
if it nails the outdoorsy kind of stuff. I mean, I know we're going underground, but if it nails that more natural,
nails it. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
I want it to feel a little Graveyard Games as well.
Yeah.
Which I loved from 2019. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just wondering if we'll go in through a mausoleum or something like that.
Ooh. That would be cool.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. The next one sounds like somebody choking. I'm probably going to get this completely wrong. Galkan?
You're looking at me like I know how to pronounce it.
Well, that's what we're calling it. So, Monsters of the North. In a remote northern village, not this one, a wicked being rises from the dead, bringing a horde of monsters and demons from the fjords, lily parrots, to wreak havoc on the townspeople. You'll face icy, horned, winged, and wolfish fiends that gradually merge into one giant horror. Ooh. And then you'll try to escape the belly of the beast.
So this is one that they've been touting in the spec maps for a while of being Vikings undead.
Oh, is that what this was?
In a house. I'm all about a cold house, so thinking back to Yeti from 2019.
They do those so well.
Yes.
But it is, from the sounds of it, it is going to be Norse anyway, because it's northern fjords and...
Which you loved that scare zone that year.
Honestly, I love the folklore from that area of the world. It's so messed up.
It kind of feels a bit like Nightingale's Blood Pit Prey, whichever the one at 2019. I never know which one it is. But it's interesting. This is the first time I've actually read the blurb, or like heard the blurb properly. So they're all going to merge into one giant horror. So we're going to get some massive,
like a chimera type
puppet
thing
at the end. Like
nice. Oh,
wasn't
yes.
the one at the end of Monstrous last year?
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be the original house this year. I feel like they do this type of horror so well.
Yes.
This kind of north winter landscape, and I just see this one really being the house to beat.
If you're talking about like cold wintry houses, it's got a lot to live up to, because like I say, you go back to Yeti 2019, go back to Dead Man's Pier 2022, which was phenomenal.
Yeah. That's the one that I was thinking of in particular. Yeah,
that house blew my mind. It was amazing. I am so excited for you. I still can't believe this is the first time you're going.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
I know so much about it, and I feel like I've been there every year because I just immerse myself in it all the time, but I just have never been able to get down there that time of year. So I cannot wait.
Kelly, if it wasn't for your Seekender crew, would you be going at all ever?
No. I was negatively / positively influenced by my dear friends. So we always go around my birthday. So Melinda, you'll actually be there over my birthday, but I couldn't get off work that weekend. So I'm going the next weekend, but it's always, we do horror nights, but because it's my birthday, I get, not just me, but I get to essentially pick something else that I really want to do in addition to our horror nights thing. So we're doing an epic day over our horror nights trip this year.
Can't imagine going to horror nights and not wanting to be there. It's just so bizarre.
I enjoy, so I grew up like dancing and doing theater and stuff like that. So I enjoy the pageantry of it. I love figuring out how things are done, looking at the costume, looking at the makeup, all of that stuff. But I just don't love being scared. And I've grown to appreciate it for what it is. It's not that I am actively not wanting to be there because I want to be experiencing these things with my friends, but it's the FOMO that is making me go and not necessarily that I can't wait to experience nearly peeing my pants every 30 minutes or so.
If you go back to our Live from the Parks episode in 2023.
Oh, come on, Lee.
I have the audio. I have the audio of Kelly's first ever walk through a Halloween Horror Nights house. And I was, and I quote, a turd, because I decided to slow down in the middle of Dr. Oddfellows, whatever it was called that year. And Kelly's like, I hate you. And then there was literal tears at the end of that house.
I did say that. I also punched you at one point. I vividly remember.
Good for you. Yeah. I had some of my best times with Kelly.
I'm going to try to do some lives for the Portkey Passports Instagram and Facebook. Obviously, I won't be able to do them in the house, but try to do some live recordings from the park.
I've got stereo portable microphones with me. I'm getting binaural audio of all those houses this year.
Wow.
I've got some Meta glasses. I'm
nice.
Should I?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to mic. I've already said because all four of us are going to be there together. So I want to do runs through houses and mic like you and Chris up together going through a house, and then like you and Michelle.
Well,
and
me and Chris going. Oh yeah.
That'll be awesome.
It'd just be funny to hear like Michelle
I
compared
can't wait
to the
hear
rest
Michelle.
of us.
Yes.
Because she might say she's all about it now, but she still craps her pants.
Yes. Yes, she does.
See, that's the thing for me. I think I'm going to be all about it because I love anything scary. I love horror movies. Nothing really like gets to me or scares me, but I really have no clue. I could go in there and be peeing myself through every house. So we'll see.
That's true.
Poor Kelly's first experience was literally getting a plane to Orlando, getting off, getting an Uber straight to the park, having to walk from the front of studios to the back of the park where the rest of us were. That was her first experience on her own. Having not really liking scary stuff, having never been to Halloween Horror Nights at all, to walk straight through that park on her own and come and meet us and go straight through a house.
Yep. I was dancing the hokey pokey with my preschool class at 1:30 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m. I was walking into Dr. Oddfellows. Is how.
Oh my God!
That's so
baptism by fire.
Oh, absolutely. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I am more interested in this house than many of the other ones, though. Like I think this one could be really beautiful. There's also.
Yes.
Is it Thor Ragnarok that has the like giant wolf that the Hulk fights off? Is that right? I think.
Don't think it's Ragnarok. I'm not positive, but
okay.
I don't remember that from that one.
Sure. That's the one with Hela in it, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm having a Marvel related memory of a giant wolf creature in one of the Thor movies. Maybe I'm making it
racking my brain now.
I can't. It's either that or Dark World. It's got to be one of the two.
Okay.
I think it might be that one. It wasn't that long ago. I watched them all.
I have no idea.
I am more excited about this one than most of them. I am excited. I have not listened to. I'm so behind on all of my theme park podcasts because I was actively avoiding epic spoilers for so long that I now have like 2 months worth of multiple podcasts to go back and listen to. It was completely worth it. If anyone out there is still epic spoiler free, it was so worth it because I was shocked by many, many different things. But yes, I've not gone back, but I am excited about the Artista. The like aesthetic of that. I know it might be really scary, but the idea behind it is really interesting to me.
Well, and I think that's going to be the going rumor, at least, is that the Killustrator is going to be the icon this year. So that may be more of kind of the overarching theme of Horror Nights itself this year.
Yeah.
So
I heard that. So out of the 7 houses we've announced, that we've had announced so far, which are you most looking forward to?
You're going to have to
Melinda,
run through what we've got.
I'm going to ask you first.
Jason, 100%.
Really? Okay.
I am all about the old school slasher movies, and when that announcement came out, I almost peed myself. I'm so excited.
We are 4 movies in, so I've watched 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, so am I.
I watched 1, 2, 3, and 4 when I was like 12. And then I think seen Freddy vs. Jason. So we're now into uncharted territory. I love how the 4th one's called The Final Chapter, and there's another 7 after.
Right, and then there's another. Yeah.
They're not good. I will say that they are not good movies.
No, they're absolutely terrible. But I don't even care. I'll still watch them 100 times because I just love that era of horror.
Yeah.
So
Kelly.
Yeah.
Probably La Artista. Fallout would be. Of the IPs announced, I'm more excited for Fallout than Jason. I watched the show, had to close my eyes because there's a lot of really gory stuff in it, but I enjoyed the storyline of the show, so I'm excited to see how that would translate to a 3-dimensional experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go either Galcan or Dolls, I think. Although Hatchet and Chains is kind of up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Tracy, got Fallout,
Yeah.
Jason, Hatchet and Chains, El Artista, and then those 3.
Yeah, I think Hatchet and Chains is probably the one at the moment. But I think on Thursday, if we get the announcement that we expect on Thursday,
are we expecting one on Thursday?
You obviously aren't in the loop. Yes, we're expecting the one that I'm very excited about on Thursday. So
give me a hint at what you're talking about.
It kind of ties in.
It's quite.
Part of it is the name of an original house that Kelly's one most looking forward to is the main character in said movie.
But yes, he's kind of like.
Is it a clown?
Mime clown?
It is a clown. Yes.
It's quite
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's so cheesy.
We've talked about
It's
it on here
amazing.
anyway. We're expecting
So-
Terrifier to get
Yes.
announced at some point.
Yes, I can't. You
can,
I
you
just watched
can.
that movie for the first time last week, and absolutely not.
These are my new
no.
favorite horror films. I love everything
It's
about
so-
them, to the point where I am actually trying to work out how I can dress
That
for
would be
that
funny.
house.
It's so funny how we've said
Oh,
how
yes.
bad the Friday the 13th movies are, when a Terrifier was obviously an homage to those crappy 80s B-movie horrors, but yet just so good.
You guys, I'm not kidding. I don't know what it was about that movie. Like I said, I love everything horror. It doesn't scare me. I don't get scared.
Oh, no.
I couldn't. What is it about
It's-
that movie? I had a
it's
really
so
hard
gory.
time finishing that one.
Melinda, you know there's
and
another
I
two.
immediately,
Yeah.
Oh, I know there's 3 of them, right?
Yep, there
Yeah.
is.
But I think it's because it's gory.
Yeah. And I texted my friend that I'm going to HHN
Yeah.
with, and I said, I am sorry, but under no circumstances am I going anywhere near this house.
That will be the
Oh,
one.
I challenge you.
That will be
to.
the one that we'll be going through.
I double dog dare you.
Oh, I mean, I'm going to do it because I'm there for one night. I have the express passes. There's no way I'm not going to do it.
Exactly. You have to do it.
Yeah,
But, oh, man, I'm
Yeah.
scared.
it's going to
I'll
be
be
an
so proud of
interesting
you.
one.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I think with that though, it's so gory and it doesn't actually shy away from it all.
It's terrible.
Right.
It's
And
great,
it's
it
not
is.
the gore. The gore doesn't
so
bother
bad,
me. I'm
it's
fine with
good.
that. I can't tell you what it was, but it just was so off-putting.
It's very much that like late 70s, early 80s horror that has no storyline whatsoever. The main character
Yes,
has
absolutely.
absolutely no motivation. It's just like, hey, we're going to saw some gore. And as 10-year-old me would have been all over, 50-year-old me's
Yeah.
all over it.
But it also has that. So if
I know Kelly's gone very quiet.
if a movie has misplaced humor in it, I am
Yeah.
out immediately.
Yeah.
What am I like?
I'm the same.
It's like I'll just go, right, okay, that's just ruined the movie. What's that about? But in this movie, it's in there, but it still works.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, I can't
It
wait.
ups the creep factor, that's
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem with this one is it does seem like it's that 70s, 80s old school horror,
Mhm.
except it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you expect it to be these like, just really kitschy and terrible graphics and everything looks so fake. And it's not. It's not. So I think that juxtaposition there is a little difficult to get around.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going to do it, but I'm not excited about it.
But that's the one I'm most excited
Yeah,
about.
okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Carrying on, speaking of horror, this is a crazy one. I still find this weird. So, Horror Unleashed in Vegas hasn't even opened yet, and Universal last week announced that they are bringing their another of this unique venues
Easy for you to say.
to the Midwest with a brand new location of
Yes!
Universal Horror Unleashed in Chicago, Illinois,
Woohoo!
which is interesting considering the conversation that's going on around at the moment of whether the one in Vegas has staying power, because doing Horror Nights in Orlando, knowing that people travel down for it, and then doing a standalone thing year round, not just staffing it, like, is the market there for it, is interesting. So not even having tested that market to already go ahead and announce another one is a very bold decision from Universal, I think.
And Vegas is so different from Chicago. You can give away with pretty much anything in Vegas, and you're gonna get the audience, right? But
Yes.
Chicago is. I'm not gonna complain because it's only 4.5 hours from me, so I can go there a lot easier than I can get down to Orlando.
Mhm.
But it is an interesting location for sure.
I had the same thought, Melinda. I'm glad you also voiced this, just as far as what entertainment in Vegas looks like versus what entertainment in Chicago looks
Completely
like.
different.
This isn't a knock on either one, but Chicago is just a little more like, I don't know, highbrow. Like, I don't know if that's the right
exactly
term for it, but you go, like, I also live quite close to Chicago. It's a very easy train ride for me. And you go there to see a Broadway show that has not yet debuted on its national tour yet. You go there to see a very special concert. You go there to like shop the Magnificent Mile.
Shop the Mile. Yep,
I don't.
exactly.
But, like the
sit on the Navy Pier and everything.
Yes, the entertainment culture of the city of Chicago looks nothing. I've not been to Vegas, so this is full transparency on that part.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem like very different. They were like, what's a big city on the eastern half of the United States that we could plop this down in? Like Chicago is very.
I really
accessible.
think that's how they did it, to be completely honest, because it makes no sense.
It does. It also makes no sense to me. So I'm glad there's someone else from that ish area that could confirm those thoughts that I had.
Maybe they just threw a dart at a map.
Yes. Yeah, they just wanted something that's further north and further east.
Yeah.
And they said, here we go. This is a big enough city where you're going to have some sort of a built-in audience, and it's easy enough for people to get to. So let's throw it here.
I love the idea of Universal sort of pushing their brand out into like satellite locations, but I'm not sure whether a year-round thing works. I know from people we've spoken to how difficult it's becoming for them to staff Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, and that's for like 2 months out of the year. To do this year-round, people don't realise how hard being a scare actor at Halloween Horror Nights actually is.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people drop out the first week.
Yeah, you find apparently like they say they'll staff it, and then like 100 people will drop out in the first week because they didn't realise how difficult it actually is.
It's exhausting.
Sure.
And so trying to staff something like this year-round worries me. But then I also don't want them to go down the route of, well, because we know it's going to be hard staffing, we'll put like animatronics or whatever it might be. And if you look at, I don't know whether you guys have ever seen any walkthroughs of the Walking Dead house or attraction thing, whatever it was at Universal Studios Hollywood that replaced the House of Horrors. It looked cool, but it was like 80% sort of mannequins and animatronics with a handful of scare actors in it, and that's not what you want. That to
and
me,
it didn't last very long.
No.
It only lasted a few years, right?
If they did that, I think that would for people who've never been to Halloween Horror Nights and going like, oh, let's dip our toe in this to see whether we like it. I think it would give you the wrong impression of Halloween Horror Nights.
Right.
Almost negative negative publicity as opposed to like positive brand exposure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm afraid that they're just kind of throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks.
Yes.
And that's nerve-wracking because, I mean, like you were just saying, it can kind of give people who haven't had as much exposure to everything else Universal a negative review of the company. And so
because the mentality could be, if that's what your permanent structure looks like, what does your temporary structure look like?
Yeah.
Which is the main one, the one that's award-winning, but in the mindset of permanent should be better than temporary, and that's not very good, then why would I go there to see your temporary thing?
But it's not even wrong, so you can't say that it's not very good.
Huh?
You're saying that
it's not good. I guarantee you now, they will not be as good as going to Halloween Horror Nights. I mean, even through a microscope of like a tiny part of Halloween Horror Nights, I don't think it will be, because Horror Nights is so much more than just the houses. It's the houses.
Yeah, it's an immersive experience.
It's the houses, it's the shows, it's the scare zones, it's the food, it's the drinks, it's the atmosphere, it's the music. There's so much more to Horror Nights than just 4 houses and a theme. But don't get me wrong, I love the idea. Something like this would work over here. Fantastic, because we don't have a lot like that. I think it would work well in the outside of the US, where we don't really have.
Sure.
Certainly not of a Universal brand yet. I will say yet. I don't know. It's an interesting thing, especially it's a big leap having not even opened one to then go and greenlight another.
Yeah, I was really shocked when that announcement dropped.
Yeah, I do feel like the one that's going to open in Vegas though is going to give false results, because like we've said, that already not captive audience, but you've got such a melting pot of people over there, and so many people going through, but
they're there for that reason.
But they're there for all this entertainment. How often do you hear about people saying, oh, I'm going to Chicago on vacation?
Apparently
well, you do.
We don't.
from outside of the US, you don't.
No.
Because isn't Chicago more like theater?
Right. It's more
that's what
ballet
you
and
said,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a huge, I mean, it's a massive, massive city that people
Yeah.
go to for sporting events and concerts and to see.
Yeah.
It is a city that you would travel to see the city. You would go there for a vacation. You would go there for spring break. You would take the train. You would fly in to see Chicago.
Yes, which I would like to do.
But you go to Vegas to see the entertainment that Vegas provides.
Yeah.
Vegas is enough of a horror show in itself.
Right.
Do we need to have?
I know there's a lot of people are quite concerned that having the one in Vegas is kind of eating into Universal Hollywood's market a little bit because it's not that far away.
It's not that close.
How far do you people live in the US? How far away is Vegas from Hollywood?
That's a good question.
3-ish hour drive.
So
Is that
Melinda's
right?
so to put it
gonna
into
say,
perspective then,
yeah.
Tracy, Melinda's just gone, it's not that far away for Chicago from me. It's only 4.5 hours, so it's much closer.
Yeah.
So we look at it from a very different perspective. 3.5 hours to travel somewhere for us is like, yeah, no, I ain't doing that. Whereas for them, that's dead close, that.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like a good
Halfway
chunk of the way down to my
country,
friend near
exactly.
London.
So it's close enough.
Yeah. I mean, we're
It seems a strange
much more
place
used
put
to
it.
driving
Yeah.
here.
Mm,
So, like I said, a 4.5 hour drive to Chicago is absolutely nothing for me. I'll do that and go back in one day.
Interesting.
So that's kind of more normal, especially in the Midwest over here. I just looked it up from Hollywood, California to Vegas is 4.5 hour drive.
Okay, that's yeah.
I just can't believe they didn't wait to make the announcement until after, and then throwing this announcement in with all the Horror Nights announcements that they were doing as well. It's like, wait, what?
Universal are
strange.
usually terrible at announcing things as well. Like they'll be
Right.
halfway through building something, they'll be like, "Building? I don't know what you're talking about. The churro stand? I have no idea." And now we're announcing stuff before we've even broken ground on it. Very strange.
But there's on one hand, it's why didn't you wait 6 more weeks to announce this just to see how your other one does or it opens? But on the flip side of that is you're giving a whole heck of a lot of confidence to your first location if you're already announcing your second location.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are thinking, they've got enough confidence in this Vegas location, maybe I will book that trip. If they're showing us that they're already willing to put forth the ideas for a second location. Who knows?
It's already on sale.
What, for Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, it opens next month.
Yeah, in 6 weeks. I'm just saying. So I wonder how far in advance then tickets are sold out. That's given them that confidence to move forward with another location.
That tickets might not be sold out. It's them putting forth that they are confident. And then people go and buy more
It's
tickets.
just the illusion.
Yeah.
And I mean, I certainly don't think that either one of these locations is going to be enough of a draw for people to, we're going to take a vacation out there so we can do this.
Yeah.
It's, we're going to be there and then we can do this while we're there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know where they should have put
Interesting.
one? In Texas, next to the kids' park.
That would make a lot more sense.
That would be hilarious, though, wouldn't it? We're going to take the kids to kids' resort in Texas, and then go to Horror Unleashed on a night.
But that makes sense, though. You've got families who are going there for the kids, and then now you've got something for the adults to do at some point as well.
And pull in the babysitting service that they use on the Disney Cruise Line and merge the two, and there you go.
I'm sure there's
Mom
some
and Dad
clowns or
can
something
go
who'll
enjoy
babysit.
That would make sense. That, yeah. I was saying it facetiously.
You were saying it as a joke, but it makes sense.
It really does. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, we shall see.
We shall indeed. Okay, we are going to do another little batch of Producers Club birthdays. So we are starting with, now I know this name. I'm sure he'll be having 1 or 2 or 20 drinks to celebrate his birthday. It's Stuart Mallett's birthday on July the 10th. Happy birthday, Stu!
Feliz cumpleaños, buddy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I hope you have a fantastic one. I know you will.
Oh, he will.
He will, yeah. And on July the 12th, it's Taylor Filarowski's birthday. Happy birthday, Taylor!
Happy birthday, Taylor!
Happy birthday!
Woohoo! Happy birthday!
If we end up picking her hot take, unpopular opinions for next week's episode. She sent quite a few in.
Oh.
And they are.
Will I be taking that birthday greeting back?
They are hot takes as well.
Oh, I can't wait, Taylor. Okay. And then we have birthday twins, both called John. Must be true. So on July the 15th, we have John Roberts' birthday. Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And also, it's John Shep's birthday. Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, other John.
Chris does always sound like EO when he says happy birthday, doesn't he?
I know. I hope you all have
happy
fantastic
days.
That's
exactly it.
Celebrate really well and eat loads of cake.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap up the podcast. Now, don't forget, we want you to rate the Freeze Ray Pops and send in your recordings, as well as sending us your How Bad is Fast and Furious Supercharged jokes. And you can send all of that to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And for now, see you next week.
That's the end of another Stella episode of UUOP. Use the Flu Network to give you access to us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. And check out our blog at uuopodcast.com for everything else. Send your owls to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And if you want to join the Producers Club, jump down the warp pipe at uuop.supercast.com. It's alive on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else the podcasts are found. So please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you can. Dragons aren't the only way to get around. Email Michelle at portkeyvacations.com. She can take care of all aspects of your next Universal Orlando vacation. Listen to them, Children of the Night, the children of the UUOP network. Rush of Fear, Halloween Horror Nights podcast, the theme park duo for all your West Coast news and info, the Taste of Universal, Universal Orlando food podcast, and the Portkey Passport, an adult-centric Disney podcast. Make sure to subscribe and come back next week because in the end, it turns out all we needed was a little more of this.